ATI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Rams look great. Notre Dame is back, and Mitchell Trubisky completes 4 passes. But we begin today with the New England Patriots demolishing the Atlanta Falcons last night in a rematch of the most recent Super Bowl, which New England also won. Last night, the Patriots finally held the team to under 300 yards passing and finally did not need last-minute heroics from Tom Brady. Wilbon, does this game tell us more about the Patriots or the Falcons?
The Falcons. We don't need to be told any more about the Patriots. We know who they are. The Patriots, the Falcons, on the other hand, they are, too, who we thought they were. Tony, the first thing you have to be to beat the Patriots is smart. And the Falcons do not exude any of that. As a matter of fact, they do one stupid thing on the football field after another. And I'm not talking about a penalty hitting the quarterback, which might take away a touchdown. I'm not talking about that. Right. I'm talking about plays of 4th down where you need to move the chains and you throw it into the end zone. And you can be bold and aggressive and go on 4th down if you want. Then have smart plays lined up. You don't give Tom Brady, with 2 minutes to go before halftime or a minute to go, half the field because you go for it on 4th and 6th at midfield. See, that's stupid football. I don't care who's coaching or playing quarterback. It's so dumb. You're never going to beat them that way.
I agree with you that we know about the Patriots. If they can, and this is one game, but if they can fix their defense, that's the thing that leaks.
3 games.
You know that their offense is fine.
They fixed it for 3 games
so
now.
You know that their offense is fine. And I agree with you that what is more apparent and in front of us is the sinking of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to get a little wonky, though. And I'm going to tell you that I think it's about losing Kyle Shanahan. Because last year they had the #1 offense in the entire league when Kyle Shanahan was their offensive coordinator. Now, I grant you in the Super Bowl.
Was he lost?
No.
Or handcuffed?
That's what I'm saying. I grant you in the Super Bowl he kept throwing, and that was undoubtedly a mistake.
Dumb.
But they have Steve Sarkisian now, and let me tell you that until that late score,
right?
Last night,
they've gone like 2
91 minutes without scoring a single point. We often see the team that loses in the Super Bowl have trouble making the playoffs, but they appear to be sinking in front of our eyes.
And why?
Matt Ryan has 7 touchdown passes in 6 games. He was the MVP
Tony,
last year.
They continue to do dumb things. This is the Falcons, the original Atlanta Falcons, who just did one dumb thing after another to implode and shoot themselves in the proverbial foot, and they got out of that last year. Last year, they were great in the regular season. They were great in the playoffs. They get to the Super Bowl, and they exude more stupid.
Can I suggest something to you? It's 2 years in a row. In other words, from the same division was Carolina the year before.
Okay.
That was terrible in the next year. Now we're seeing it from Atlanta.
We've seen it before. Atlanta.
2 years in a row.
Don't they seem lacking to you?
I'm struck by Arthur Blank dancing on the sidelines to this day when they didn't win. He stopped dancing.
Yeah, well, that didn't look bright either. Let's talk about another NFC South team I don't trust, the Saints. Despite having the world's worst defense to start the season, they've now won 4 straight, including yesterday's win over a Rodgers-less Packers team in Green Bay. The Saints took full advantage of a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start. Even Sean Payton said, quote, "We still have a lot of work ahead of us and very easily could have lost a game like this," close quote. Tony, that said, in this weak T NFC, could you fall in love with the Saints?
You could, but not based on that game. You cannot, when you look at the Packers
4
without...
straight?
Hold it. When you look at the Packers without Aaron Rodgers, a team that offers only token opposition during the game, here's what you have in Brett Hundley. You got a guy who's not ready to start in the NFL just yet. Here's what he does. He completes 12 passes for 87 yards. That's 7 yards of completion. That's terrible. When you have Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson, and you can only get 87 yards passing, that's on the quarterback. He's not ready yet. So whatever you want to say about the Saints, and we could be very vociferous in the fact that we love the Saints, I wouldn't base it on that game. I just would not.
No, you can't base it on that game. I'm surprised they've gotten themselves together this much. If I'm going to give,
I'll bet you they've played the toughest schedule in the NFL so far.
I'm going to say, if I'm going to give New England credit for getting better, and the Patriots defense has gotten better, then I better give the Saints some credit for getting better as well, Tony. I mean, it's just amazing to me that you could sort of waste all the time they have with Drew Brees. Drew Brees threw a couple of picks yesterday, but they can overcome turnovers.
He's great. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
With a great offense. So you're mostly going to buy into their offense if you're buying the Saints as a stock.
Well, I'm going to go through the schedule just a little bit. They have lost to New England and Minnesota, whose combined record is 10-4. Everybody else they've played is at least 500, and in fact, Packers, Lions, Carolina, Miami, combined records 15-11. So if you wanted to say, put me in handcuffs when I say this because I'm stupid,
right,
but I like the Saints.
That division.
You can get away with it.
Who do you still like in that division?
I don't like anybody at the moment.
Got to pick somebody.
But you know what? That division over the last 16 years, I believe, only one team has ever repeated, Carolina. Only one. The Chicago Bears, your Chicago Bears,
sir,
beat the Carolina Panthers yesterday, despite a series of offensive statistics that come straight out of the 1920s.
Come on, the 30s.
The Bears quarterback, your boy, Mitch Trubisky, attempted only 7 passes. That is not a typo. The Bears ran only 33 offensive plays, made only 5 first downs. Again, no typos. Wilbon, you are always saying this is a quarterback league and you have to throw the ball to win. So I ask you, is this sustainable?
To a point. It's a quarterback league. The Bears have never been in that league. What you've been watching all these years?
They had McMahon.
You want to tell the people, you want to refresh memories on when they had McMahon?
Well,
because I know exactly when they had him.
Let me just say this. They had him after Sid Luckman, who's the other guy I would name.
82 to 89.
Yeah.
McMahon hasn't been on the team in almost 30 years.
That's right.
So they don't have a quarterback. We never have a quarterback. But here's what we got. We got a young man named Jackson that knows how to scoop it and get to the end zone or pick it and go to the end zone.
He did it twice.
No, this is the kind of team and game that makes me excited. Hit somebody in the mouth.
Yeah, I know.
We don't wait on pretty boy quarterbacks, Tone. You know why? Because how many years again since Sid Luckman?
80.
Okay, so is it sustainable? It is to win that division without Aaron Rodgers. It is to get to the playoffs and maybe upset somebody in a round. And good for John Fox.
Yeah.
He has coached this team, this defense and special teams.
So you're
up.
not trying to get Jim Harbaugh in that job anymore, are you?
No,
not today.
I've got full faith in Coach Fox.
So here's the thing. I mean, I think this is not sustainable,
Of course
obviously.
you do,
but I am
because you know it's
informed.
not.
I'm informed by something that Doug Marrone said a few months ago when he took the job as the head coach at Jacksonville. And they said to him, ideally, coach, how many passes would you have Blake Bortles throw in a game? And he said, ideally, none.
None.
He would
It's
have
coaches.
None. But 7 passes.
Tony, I got worse stats
you know what it's
than
like? When you play the Bears now, you know who you're playing? You're playing Army or Navy.
No, you're
7
playing the Bears.
passes.
You're playing George Hallis's Bears with Red Grange. And yet, we have colleagues and people we like in Chicago who are busy slurping Mitch Trubisky and telling us how great he is.
You traded up to 2
to
for
get him
7 passes?
Now, Tony.
7?
You know what he didn't do? He didn't throw one of those Jay Cutler soul-sucking interceptions
you know what else he
that
did?
kill you at the end of the game.
He completed 4 at an average of 25 per. If Brett Hundley had 25 per.
He had about 400 yards passing.
Yeah.
So you're laughing at it because you know it's comical. I like it.
No.
Because I like Bears teams that hit you in the mouth.
It's not so much
like
it's comical. What I'm laughing at is your sudden enthusiasm for the entire team because they have reverted to the Cro-Magnon era of Bear football.
That's how we do.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you had the L.A. Rams winning 5 of their first 7 games.
My hand's not up.
Neither is mine. Behind a quarterback who looks like a young Roman Gabriel and a runner who in open space looks like a young Eric Dickerson. Yes, these are your granddaddy's Rams. 5-2, best offense in football. Shut out the Cardinals in London if you were paying attention to the venue, Tone.
No.
All this comes under the watch of the NFL's youngest ever head coach, Sean McVay, who has this team looking unstoppable on offense. Tony, are you ready to anoint the next coaching genius in the NFL?
I can't believe I'm going to say what I'm going to
Uh-oh.
say. This
Brace
guy
yourself.
is 31 years old. He's the same age as my son. You cannot be the head coach in the NFL at 31 years old.
Well, they've never done it before.
It's too young. But when I look at what he has done this quickly, I wonder, is he the quarterback whisperer? You know,
Not
is
just the
he
quarterback. Look at the whole team.
Well,
that running back ain't dependent on the quarterback.
No, I understand. But last year, Jared Goff was considered one of the busts of all time. Jeff Fisher hated him so much he wouldn't play him. When he finally got in games at the end of the year, you understood why Jeff Fisher was not playing him. And now he looks like Vince Ferragamo all of a sudden.
Better.
So if you ask me this question, if you're saying if I had to pick a long shot, you say, well, who's the next Belichick? I won't say it out loud. I'm thinking Sean McVay.
Well, it helps that on defense, the guy running that is a little bit older.
He's 80.
Wade Phillips.
Yeah, he's been
I
around
almost
a
said
long
Bum
time.
Phillips, and it would have been
No, it's
about
Wade
the
Phillips.
same thing. Okay. There have been young coaches who have had great teams fairly quickly before. Not this young. And I'm thinking about guys like Chuck Noll, who was 37, John Madden, who was 33, Mike Tomlin. John Gruden was pretty young.
Yeah.
So those guys were all in there sort of early to mid-30s.
Are you anointing him?
No, I'm not going to anoint him because it's only 7 games.
Okay.
But I might be ready to in a few weeks. Tony, they look so poised and they look so great in all the phases you can look. They have actual, not fake news swagger, like they know they're going to kick your
Here's
butt.
a statistic. The Rams, their offense in the last 6 years never finished higher than 25th. It's number one right now. It's number one. They're killing teams. They're plus 74. They're number one in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're killing teams.
I'll give the credit.
We moved out of college football. The two biggest wins this weekend were recorded by Penn State and Notre Dame. Penn State beat Michigan 42-13. Notre Dame beat USC 49-14. Both Michigan and USC were ranked. The hardest thing was keeping track of both games simultaneously since they were on at the same time.
Get two TVs.
Wilbon, which team impressed you more?
What kind of real man are you? You're looking at one TV.
One TV.
George Hallis, Red Grange.
One TV.
Like it's the 1920s.
Hold it.
Get another TV.
You just said the Bears are going back to Hallis and Grange.
I like that. I'm not going back there myself, not with TVs. But this McSorley kid is the one who impressed me the most.
Quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback of Penn State, Tony. He made plays. He didn't need Saquon Barkley to make plays. But when the two of them are making plays to the tune of 3 touchdowns each, they are really good. Penn State, who plays Ohio State this week, can win that game, I believe. And I think Penn State can be in the Final Four in the championship game.
By the way, he didn't need Saquon Barkley late because he had Saquon Barkley early.
Well, he had him.
The second play of the game, the guy goes 65 yards.
You don't think McSorley looked like a
He looked fine. I don't know which team was more impressive. I will tell you the setting that was more impressive, and that was Penn State. With that whiteout thing, that was really something. And the way they scored so quickly.
Is always better.
I thought that Michigan
is always better.
I thought that Michigan was going to win when they got it 2 touchdowns to 2 touchdowns, and they got crushed after that. You think that you're not going out on a limb when you say if Penn State beats Ohio State for the second straight year, they're going to go to the playoff.
Championship.
But if Notre Dame wins out, let's go to Notre Dame for a second.
All right.
Because Notre Dame has snuck up on us. They had one loss early, but it turns out it's the best
loss.
It's the best loss of the year.
Yeah.
Because it's the Georgia, the number 3 team in the country. So if they beat NC State, which is a very good team, that's a ranked team, right?
Yeah.
If they go at Miami and at Stanford and they win, they're in. Because television,
then we got 3 of the 4.
This network wants
Then we got
Notre
3 of the 4.
Yeah.
Then we got Alabama, Penn State, Notre Dame.
Right.
Now, how happy could they be
if they win out?
If you're the television
now,
network
do you think Penn State goes to Columbus and wins?
Yeah.
You do. You said that
Tony,
out
after
loud.
seeing McSorley and Barkley, that combination, I don't know how Ohio State stops them.
Let's take a break. Coming up, the Astros beat the Yankees to make the World Series, but are the Dodgers still the clear favorites?
And what's the appropriate grade for the Steelers' hide-and-seek touchdown celebration? Hey, can we give Tony a TV? A TV and a remote. You can give him a 1984 TV.
It's mail time where you pick the topics and we sit here powerless to stop you. Let's see what's first.
I can stop them. I can get rid of their
first
topics.
one.
What is it?
Do you still see the Dodgers as the clear favorites?
Not a clear favorite, Tony. I mean, when you're Houston and you won that many games in the regular season, and you also have Keuchel and Verlander, I'm not picking anybody as our clear favorites. A slight favorite. I mean, I could even see making Houston the favorite.
You remember last week you said that no matter who won between the Yankees and the Astros, you would make the Dodgers the clear favorites.
Not a heavy favorite. I said a favorite.
You said clear favorite.
I don't think I used the word clear.
No, you did. That was
I didn't. Get
part
the
of
tape.
the question.
Reality, get the tape.
Yeah.
Who you got? You got the Dodgers as a clear favorite?
I do still.
Why?
Because I think and I love Verlander, as you know. And I thought that they would beat the Yankees, as you know, and said so a number of times.
Yeah.
Because the Dodgers have a great bullpen, the best bullpen in baseball.
They do.
They have a great bench. The bench is utilized so well. And if there's anybody out there that can match Keuchel and Verlander, I would think it's Clayton Kershaw and Yu Darvish.
Yeah, maybe.
So, and they've got the home field. So I think they're the favorites.
A favorite. By the way, we mentioned the Dodgers all year on this show. We haven't given Dave Roberts. You and I have not given Dave Roberts
terrific manager.
And if for nothing else, pulling out of a 16 out of 17 loss slide.
Do you know what the temperature is going to be for the World Series in L.A.?
It's coming down.
99.
Nope. It's coming down because I know I'll be there.
Okay. Why will you be there?
Southern California.
Why will you be there? Are you ever here other than today?
Why would I want to be with you? Are you done believing in the Broncos?
I never really believed in the Broncos because, unlike you, I never looked at Trevor Siemian as a second coming of Otto Graham, which I know you did. And I know he's going to keep his position and he's going to start.
His coach has said, we got too many other things wrong on offense to worry about the quarterback today.
They have no offense.
None.
The last 4 games, they were shut out the other day by a very mediocre Charger team. They've scored a total of 40 points in their last 4 games. You can't ask a defense to hold people under 10. You can't do that. And Siemian, who I know you love, has 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the last 4 games.
He hasn't been good.
No.
So maybe we pin this on somebody I also love who used to play that position, John Elway. He's got to go out and get them some stuff, some players, and you don't do that during the season.
Got Brock Osweiler if he wants him.
By the way, as much as I am not a Brock Osweiler fan, he performed fairly well, better than my man Trevor Siemian is right now when he was in there.
That's
so
2
you at
years
least got to
ago,
look
3
at
years
him.
ago.
You got to look at him, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't look, Tony. When it comes to runners and receivers, the cover is not there, but there ain't much in it.
That was really decisive. Do you understand? Let me repeat this. Do you understand the Suns firing Earl Watson after just 3 games?
Yeah, here's a number you need to know, and this is not advanced analytics. After 3 games, the Phoenix Suns are minus 92.
That's a lot.
Minus 92. And, Tony, the lineup is not a lineup yet. It's a collection of young, talented players. We're going to lose a bunch of games, but they shouldn't be losing by 30-something a game. Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, wings, anybody would like to have. Tyler Eulis, who I know you liked. T.J. Warren, Marquise Chris. They got some talented young players, and they don't redshirt like Philadelphia. But if you go minus 92, I remember thinking when I saw the scores, he's got a week. Well, Ryan McDonough said, forget the week. He's done now.
I want to explain the minus 92 a little bit because one of those losses was by 2, which means in 2 of those games they were minus 90, minus 48 and minus 42. Eric Bledsoe, who is their best player, said the other day, and I'm quoting, I don't want to be here. Now, he has now said what he meant was, I don't want to be in this particular hair salon that I'm in right now. But the GM has said he is likely to have played his
last game. Come on, they got good young players. I would trade that squad for all the young guys on the Bulls right now.
Everybody's got good young players. Everybody.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of good young players in the league.
What's your grade for the Steelers' hide-and-seek touchdown celebration? Feel free to use the entire clock.
Yeah, I liked the hide-and-seek touchdown celebration. I liked it because unlike the Minnesota Vikings duck, duck, goose, where they didn't seem to understand what they were doing, the hide-and-seek was good. And I assume that the Steelers practice a little bit on a hide-and-seek because they have hidden the ball from Martavis Bryant, who now wants out of that particular place. I don't understand this, Mike. I don't understand how in all sports people want to leave playoff teams. Kyrie Irving disease. I don't know why this is happening all over the place.
Yeah, well, you sure you do. Massive egos and the kind of AAU mentality that's not just about basketball, it's about all sports.
Pittsburgh can get to the Super Bowl.
Of course they can, but if they don't get there on with his full participation, he's not happy. You know that.
Enough email. Let's take one last break. Still to come, what will the NBA do about Steph Curry throwing his mouthpiece the other night?
Nothing. And just how big a deal was Ezekiel Elliott's big day for the Cowboys? Cowboys.
You can't throw. He throws his mouthpiece a lot, and he gets tossed.
He gets tossed.
He gets tossed. So you think that's it? Happy time, people. Happy 55th birthday, Doug Flutie, the only Heisman Trophy winner in the history of Boston College and the author of the greatest touchdown pass in college football history. Flutie keeps busy these days in the NBC Notre Dame football booth and appearing in every commercial you've ever seen. I particularly like him in the Dr. Pepper ads. Mike, I like the Dr. Pepper ads.
I like Doug Flutie, period. I don't even know what ads you're talking about. I've never seen them. Do they only air during Notre Dame games?
No. They're the college football ads.
Okay.
Happy anniversary, Leonard Fournette. Around this day last year, you introduced yourself to Ole Miss freshman Deontay Anderson. Boom. Fournette left LSU a year early, was the 4th overall pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of the reasons Jacksonville is a very surprising 4-3 is that Fournette leads the NFL with 6 touchdowns and is in the top 5 in rushing.
That's nice. He didn't help me yesterday. They scored a 27-0 victory over that NAIA school, the Indianapolis Colts.
They're
rising superpower.
Real trouble. Happy trails, Joe Thomas. A torn triceps suffered against the Titans yesterday ended Thomas's incredible streak of 10,363 consecutive snaps on offense. You think about that. That's every offensive play for over 11 seasons. The 3rd overall pick in the 2007 draft started from day 1 for the Cleveland Browns, never took a play off. Thomas is now done for the season.
It is so admirable. And when you're in Cleveland, you know how much they love Joe Thomas. And I feel bad. I was watching on Red Zone when that happened. It's just awful.
And by the way,
the Browns, they lost that game in overtime. Still winless, 0-7.
They're terrible. One omission. The NBA fined Steph Curry $50,000 for throwing his mouthpiece, quote, in the direction of a game official. Are you okay with that?
No. If he wanted to go in the direction of a game official, he could have hit him. He could have hit him on the button. It's Steph Curry. Come on. He'll get that reduced. He's not paying $50 for that. I'll be his agent for that.
Why don't you just pay it for
I'll
him? Then he
appeal.
doesn't have to do it. Big finish. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Dwayne Wade has decided to come off the bench. J.R. Smith back in the starting lineup. You surprised?
It's called leadership, Holmes. Wade decided to do that. You know, that team flowed nicely without him last year. You get the second unit, other guys. It'll work well. Red Sox named Alex Cora manager. The Mets gave their gig to Mickey Callaway. You like one more than the other?
I think they both walk into something good, particularly if the Mets' arms are good. I think Cora walks into something better. Ezekiel Elliott had a career-high 219 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns yesterday. That's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big deal. You know what's another big deal? He's going to play against your Redskins next week.
I know.
Okay? Kansas has been outscored, get this, 88-0 the last 2 weeks. Give him a pep talk.
Well, they could fire Earl Watson if he worked there. They're probably the worst Power 5 football school in the country, don't you think?
There's no question about it.
Monday Night Football, Washington and Philly. Who you got?
I got the Redskins beating the
Really? You got the upset?
Beating them on the road.
We're on
in the
time.
link.
Trying to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. And now we send you to Susie.